What's up guys and welcome to FPL Today. I'm the man in the know, J&O, and welcome to my team for Game Week 22 where we go over the fires I need to put out, the transfers I'm planning to make, and give you a look into my strategy moving forward in this Fantasy Premier League season. So let's get straight into the video and we start off with the fires that need to be put out. This is the part of the episode where I go over the worries in my side, what I need to fix, and what I'm considering fixing in the near future. And the 4 points I have to look at today are the doubts over Alonso. He did actually return decently for me last week. However, it was a clean sheet with some bonus points. Kind of need those attacking returns to justify his price when someone like Andrew Robertson is getting assists. So for me, Alonso is a doubt. I'm looking at other options in that Chelsea side, but also elsewhere that seem to be getting better returns for a cheaper price, which would allow me to spend more in my midfield or up front. Then we've got the Son replacement. He is, of course, going to the Asian Cup after this game against Manchester United. When that happens, I need to change him. Will I be moving over to another Spurs player, or are there other options I should consider, which would mean I'd have no Spurs coverage unless I somehow upgraded a striker, most likely Aubameyang, to Harry Kane. Then we've got Liverpool versus Fulham confirmed for Game Week 31. There will be a blank game week before that when the Carabao Cup conflicts with the Premier League. But right now we know for a fact after the FA Cup fixtures that Liverpool versus Fulham will happen in Game Week 31. So we look at what we should be planning for in advance for that game week. And then Danny Ings' injury. It's actually come out tonight that Ings could feature over the weekend, so maybe this isn't actually an issue, but Ings was brought in to be the cheaper striker so I could upgrade Felipe Anderson to Paul Pogba. So Ings may not be an issue, but I do look at players I could bring in for Ings. However, with Southampton's fixtures, and if Ings is fit for this weekend, it's unlikely I'm going to make any transfers there. But before we go into detail on any of those points, we look at the fixtures and I go over the teams that I think have good up-and-coming 6 fixtures that we could take advantage of in the Fantasy Premier League. And the first team is Spurs. After they get past Man United, you're looking at Fulham, Watford, Newcastle, Leicester and Burnley. This makes me lean towards getting in another Spurs player because those fixtures look very, very promising. Then there's also Southampton. They have Leicester, Everton, Crystal Palace, Burnley, Cardiff, and then Arsenal at the end of that run of 6 games. This is why I brought Ings in for these fixtures and the fact that they seem to be playing rather well recently. However, the Ings issue would mean he potentially misses out that Leicester City game, which would be annoying. But right now, I think Ings probably is my coverage for that run of fixtures for Southampton. We have Everton with Bournemouth, Southampton, Huddersfield, Wolves, Watford and Man City. Again, a good run until that last game against Man City. Everton are a bit hit and miss at the moment, to be fair, but I've got Digne. I'm not sure I really want to be bringing in Richarlison or Sigurdsson or anyone like that. But those fixtures do look good, and it is Bournemouth next if you do have an Everton player in your side. Probably a goal fest, a bit like that game against Watford. Bournemouth can turn up and score goals, but their defence is very, very leaky. Then we've got Watford, Crystal Palace, Burnley, Tottenham, Brighton Hove Albion, Everton and Cardiff. Their fixtures look pretty good. You've got Deulofeu, Troy Deeney, Roberto Pereira, all looking in form right now, so they're good options. Liverpool, of course, when Liverpool have a good run of fixtures, you want some coverage there. Brighton Hove Albion, Crystal Palace, Leicester City, West Ham and Bournemouth before they face Man United. And then Cardiff and Crystal Palace both have good fixtures as well, just I'm not too confident about picking any of their players. Of course, if you've got Wan-Bissaka, potentially there's clean sheet points coming up for you. And then with Cardiff, if you're looking for a cheap budget midfielder, then Cardiff could be the team for you. Or potentially their goalkeeper if you're looking for a cheap goalkeeper. So we move on to Alonso doubts, and the reason I have doubts about him is because if we look over the last 4 game weeks, we've got a £6.8 million defender who has got 17 points, has returned in 2 out of 4 games, but both have been clean sheets because there's been no goals and no assists. He has turned up with 2 bonus points recently, and he has got 6 attempts on goal, which puts him joint third for defenders in the last 4 game weeks. But apart from that and chances created, where he's got 3, which puts him joint 13th, he really isn't in the running for any of the other important underlying stats, which would suggest he's going to get goals and assists, which is really disappointing for a player of Alonso's standard and the way we know he has played in seasons previously. He is my last expensive premium budget defender, so I could downgrade him to Robertson, but to be honest, I am also looking to downgrade him to some very cheap options. Not very cheap, but a lot cheaper than Alonso, which would allow me to do more in other positions. And the players I'm looking at as Alonso replacement, the easiest switch would be for me to David Luiz because it covers the Chelsea fixtures. It's also a player that is at 5.9 million, 0.9 million cheaper than Alonso. And he has returned 22 points, more than Alonso, with returns in 2 out of 4. He's got no goals, but he has got 1 assist with 3 bonus points, 5 attempts on goal, 4 from inside the box, which is more than Marcos Alonso inside the box. No shots on target, 1 big chance. Minute per chance at 72 minutes, chances created. This is questionable because the site said 1 chance created, but 3 big chances created. So I'm not sure if they've got that correct at all. But David Luiz is outperforming Marcos Alonso right now at 0.9 million cheaper. So he is in consideration. We then got Nathan Ake. Now, we're not looking at Nathan Ake for clean sheets, but he's returned in the last 3 out of 4 games with 2 goals and 2 bonus points. 4 attempts on goal, 4 from inside the box, again better than Alonso. 3 on target, better than Alonso with 2 big chances. Minute per chance at 88 minutes. Chance created only 1 and no big chances created. But he's 5 million, so that's 1.8 million cheaper. The cheapest option in this lineup for me. Then there's Van Aanholt, 5.4 million. We know what Van Aanholt is capable of seasons past. Again, another 22 points returned by this defender. 2 out of 4 games returned in. 1 goal, 1 assist, 5 bonus points, 9 attempts on goal, 5 from inside the box, 3 on target, no big chances. Minutes per chance at 40 minutes, chances created at 5, and big chance created at 1. Apart from big chances and the amount of games he's returned in, Van Aanholt is outperforming Marcos Alonso in every single underlying stat. And speaking of players outperforming Alonso in every single underlying stat, we've got Ricardo Pereira, 5.3 million from Leicester City. 30 points, 3 out of 4 returns, 1 goal, 1 assist, 5 bonus point, 8 attempts on goal. From inside the box, 3 on target, 3, 4 big chances, minutes per chance at 45 minutes, 3 chances created, the only thing he doesn't beat Marcos Alonso in, and 1 big chance created. So all of these defenders outperforming Marcos Alonso makes me wonder if I should still keep faith. We know he's an explosive option when he does turn up. He just hasn't been turning up. It could be a situation where once you get him out, he does a Mohamed Salah on you. But I just can't really fathom keeping Marcos Alonso right now when there's better players out there. Andrew Robertson would be the obvious one. But then even when you look a bit deeper into the stats, you've got 4 options here that in the last 4 game weeks have easily outperformed Marcos Alonso. We then move on to Son's replacement. Now, Son is a player I've been very happy with, and I'm being forced into replacing him, and that's because of the Asian Cup. Now, the players I'm looking at, one of the players I would like back in is Felipe Anderson. I never really wanted to get him out. That may change now with Marko Arnautovic wanting to leave West Ham. We're going to see what happens there. Also, West Ham's fixtures. They've kind of gone through their really good run of fixtures now. But we are looking at a player that has looked top class. 21 points, returns in 1 out of 4 games, 2 goals, 3 bonus points, 11 attempts on goal, 5 from inside the box, 5 on target, 1 big chance, minutes per chance at 32.7, chances created at 8, big chances created at 2, and minutes per chance is at 45 minutes per chance created. So Anderson definitely looking very, very good. The issue is, of course, the fixtures. Is he going to perform that well? We then have Richarlison. Now, the problem with Richarlison for me is I have been anti-Richarlison for the whole season. I'm not too fond of Everton right now as an option. He has got 14 points, 2 returns out of 4 games, 1 goal, 1 assist, no bonus points, 11 attempts on goal, 10 from inside the box, 3 on target, no big chances, 27.3 minutes per chance and 1 chance created. I don't like those underlying stats. Compared to Felipe Anderson, compared to the other 2 options, I'm not a fan, but Richarlison is sometimes playing out of position and can have those games where he does score big, which is why he's under consideration. We then move on to Ryan Fraser because he is still someone that's easy to bring in for Son. The last option I'll talk about is a bit more difficult. We have Ryan Fraser at 6.1 million. I transferred him out recently, but he still looks good. He still looked good. He is carrying a knock at the moment, so that would be one that potentially I wouldn't bring in straight away, but could come in the future. But 19 points, returns from 1 out of 4 games, 1 goal, 1 assist, 2 bonus points, 15 attempts on goal, 4 from inside the box, 3 on target, 2 big chances, minute per chance at 44.2 minutes. But then it's chances created at 11 with 2 big chances created, minute per chance creation at 20 minutes, which makes me consider him because he's got both goal threat and assist threat. And speaking of a player with both goals and assist threat, with Anderson and Fraser is Eden Hazard. Now, he is a big upgrade on Heung-Min Son. I would need to save money elsewhere, potentially off of Alonso, then bring in Hazard for that Chelsea coverage. 23 points out of the last 4 games with 2 goals, 3 bonus points, 12 attempts on goal, 10 from inside the box, 7 on target, 5 big chances, minute per chance at 30 minutes, and then 10 chances created, none of them being big chances, but a minute per chance creation at 36. So those are the players I'm looking at for Son's replacement. Anderson seems like the most natural fit. Fraser is carrying a knock. Hazard is a big upgrade. So with Spurs also having great fixtures, it may be that I just go to a Spurs player for a little bit until I can pick between these lot or make the moves I need to make to be able to afford someone like Hazard. I think Richarlison is the one I'm really not thinking of just yet. Of course, he could return big in any game week, but Hazard, Anderson and Fraser are the ones I'm really interested in. To be honest, with Eriksen and Dele Alli, I worry how they're going to play without Son. I like all 4 of those players, including Kane, when Son is there. I'm not too fond of the way Kane plays when Lucas Moura is around. And also, I'm not too sure about Dele Alli. And Christian Eriksen, I think he's a quality player, but again, he's one of those that doesn't always necessarily deliver the FPL points. It would feel strange going into the run of fixtures, though, that Spurs have without a Spurs option. We then got Liverpool versus Fulham confirmed for game week 31. And the reason I just want to bring this up is because I think this is the time where you need 2 Liverpool players. With the run of fixtures they've got and a confirmed game week 31 fixture, I've got Salah, so to me it's about bringing in another option. Shaqiri, potentially, if I think he's going to play, could be that cheap way into that side to get a second attacking player. And then, of course, a defensive player. Trent Alexander-Arnold is the easy one to bring in. Andrew Robertson, the more premium priced choice. But if we look at the stats, Liverpool attack over the last 4 game weeks, 12 goals, that's 3 a game on average. 10 big chances, 53 attempts on goal, 39 from inside the box, 16 big chances, 28 shots on target, and they create a chance every 7.2 minutes. And then they're coming up against a defence that has conceded 5 goals, that is from a 48 attempts on goal, 34 from inside the box, 18 on target, and 11 big chances. I think in a game week where some teams will have a blank game week, it's going to be important to own some of these Liverpool players. And then finally, Danny Ings' replacement. And we've got 2 options here. I could look at Callum Wilson, to be fair. I just don't like the fixtures. There's a reason I dropped them. And I think Fraser might be the one I want to bring back if I'm going to bring anyone back. So I'm looking at Troy Deeney, 5.9 million from Watford. They do have decent fixtures. 24 points recently from the last 4 games. 2 of those games he got those attacking returns in. 3 goals, 1 assist, 3 bonus points. 10 attempts on goal, 9 from inside the box, 5 on target, 4 big chances. Minute per chance at 30 minutes, 0.2. And then chance created 6. Minute per chance created at 50 minutes. But it's Marcus Rashford that is really interesting me. He's been named, I don't know necessarily if the source is 100% accurate, but it's rumoured he has been named as the number 1 striker at Manchester United under Solskjaer. At 7.3 million, the number 1 striker in a Man United side that seemed to be much more attacking could be absolute money for us Fantasy Premier League players. 31 points in the last 4 game weeks. Returned points in 3 of the last 4 games. 3 goals, 2 assists, 5 bonus points, 18 attempts on goal, 13 from inside the box, 10 on target, 5 big chances, minute per chance at 18.1 minutes, 6 chances created, 2 of them being big chances, and a minute per chance creation at 54 minutes. I want Marcus Rashford, but I would need to save money for Marcus Rashford. So that is why I'm most likely going to carry over my transfer and then save money on a transfer next game week to bring in Marcus Rashford, potentially for Danny Ings. Be easier to do it for Raul Jimenez. We will see. But I have been a fan of Raul Jimenez recently in my Fantasy Premier League side. And if he scores against Man City, he's unlikely to leave the side. So Rashford could be the one being brought in. I think he could be a season keeper from this point onwards. And anyway, guys, that is it for this episode, the second part of my team where I go over my transfer thoughts and decisions that I could potentially make. Make sure to follow me on Twitter if you want an updated final lineup of my side for the game week. And check me out on Instagram as well, doing some more stuff over there as well. So make sure to go and check me on all my social media as I try and do this push again for another year, growing all my social media platforms. So all support is welcome and much appreciated. I've been JNO, this has been FPL Today, and remember, it's all about the game.